Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us at the NOAA Central Library, either in person or online. I'm Katie Rowley, an Outreach and Reference Librarian. I will be covering 3 of the databases, and my colleague Hope Shin will be covering 3 of the other databases. And this is an installment of our knowledge workshops. And we want to talk about basically 101, very simple searching, filtering, tips and tricks to use our databases. The library has a whole host of databases that are available to everyone at NOAA. If you can find them on our website, library.noaa.gov. And some of them do require a login, especially if you're looking at Lexis Advance, Westlaw, those type of legal resources, and we can help you obtain that. If you don't need a login, but you're still running into access issues, please let us know. library.reference@noaa.gov is our email, and we want to know that, because if you're having trouble, that's a problem. You shouldn't be having any trouble. So it's going to be a demonstrative presentation. We're going to be switching back and forth between slides and the live databases. And we're going to be talking about 6 of them. The first one is going to be Aquatic Science and Fisheries Abstract. And this is a database that is mainly focused on science, technology, management, conservation of marine, freshwater, ocean resources. It does cover some socioeconomic and legal aspects as well. But if you're working in aquaculture, you're looking at oceanography, fisheries, any of that kind of stuff, ASFA, as it's shortened, would be the place you want to look. This is a ProQuest database. It is covering years from 1971 to the current year, and it is an abstracting service. So you're going to find abstracts. It's not going to always be full text. If it does have full text and it does have PDF access, it's because those things are either open access or it's somehow connected to our subscriptions. So it will be available to you through that. So we have this database not only because of fisheries, but because it is one of the best sources of gray literature, because it does house that. These things are uploaded to ASFA, so we do get some duplication. Some of the metadata and citations can be a little messy because people are uploading the information to it, but it is still the best source of gray literature and abstracts from journals and reports. So some limitations, but it's still a really good source for that. And when you start from the library's database page, you land on its home page. And the home page is the advanced search option. So you can start from you can start searching many different ways from this section, but pre-selected for you is this command line search. This allows for natural language searching. So if you have a topic and you want to search for it, whatever language you want to use, not English even, you can type in here and it's going to find it if it has it. So the filters on the sides here are going to help you say, anywhere in the article, anywhere in the ProQuest, item search for that is what you can find. Then you can also narrow it down if you want it to make sure it's in the abstract, that what you're searching for is going to show up and be about that topic. You choose that. If you have a particular author, if you know it's in the title or you want it to be in the title of the publication, you can choose those. But I'm going to just do a quick search here for Dungeness crab. And I'm going to say that it's anywhere. And if I could spell this correctly, that would help. Oh no, that's right. Okay, so I'm going to search anywhere Dungeness crab. And getting not the results I want. I should be getting more than that back. Interesting. Obviously, I need to put a space in there. Okay. Well, just choosing this first one, I'm going to look in and I'm going to do a keyword search. 217 results. That's not bad. So anyway, these like side panels can narrow things for you. You can say, I want that only to be peer-reviewed topics. It's cutting down what you have. You want it to only be scholarly journals. That's going to filter it as well. And then you can say, well, I want to know what the earliest publications were. We have stuff from 1930. There's one record about Dungeness crab. So these are some of the search functions and filters you can do for that. But if this isn't exactly what you want, what you're coming, like what you're not getting exactly what you're looking for, I always advocate going back to that advanced search feature and trying again. So I'm going to search Dungeness crab again, but this time I want to know specifically about Megalopy. And it's going to say no results, which is very interesting. Okay, so then if I want to search, they're giving me suggestions of searching the scientific name, and it's going to give me more results. So ASFA is a funny database where sometimes the searches don't go the way you want, but they do have suggestions on how to, like, different terms to use. And one of those is the thesaurus on the side here. If you can look through here and I can say, okay, I wanted to look at Dungeness crab and I want to know why I wasn't having much luck. And they're saying, okay, Dungeness crab fisheries. Okay, it's part of crab fisheries. Trap fishing is something related. I can use that, check that box, add it to my search. Maybe I want to get rid of this Megalopy again, but I'm going to search. Hopefully this will give me something. Okay, I get 157 results. That's okay. We're talking about ghost fishing. Maybe that's something I wanted to know more about. So I go in here, it's going to give me an abstract, it's giving me some details, it's going to have subjects. So it's about commercial fishing, it's about abundance, it's located in Alaska, it's got the author, it's got the publication title, where it was published in, all of the information to track that down. But it also says that there is full text access. So it's going to link you out to an external site. And let's see if it actually gives me full text. Searching. Okay, so it's going to Taylor and Francis, and it's saying, okay, that this is a full access article. Click on this PDF symbol, and it should give it to you instead of giving you the sad face. But as you can see, you could read it online completely through Taylor and Francis. So sometimes ASFA will have full text, it will have PDF. I'm looking for one that may have a PDF attached to it. And it should show you in these little links below the title. It'll have an abstract details, which you can preview if you don't want to like fully click into it and commit. It also has cited by on some of them, where you can see who else is citing that research. And sometimes it'll say, instead of saying access full text, it'll say that there is a PDF as well. I'm not seeing that with this one, but that's okay. So if we go back to advanced search, there's also field codes. These field codes, if you can see from there, are the same ones that you find in the filters to the side of your search. It's going to say if you want to look just at the abstract, the author, anywhere except the full text, these are the codes you'll want to use on the side. But anywhere but that, I can say, try my Dungeness crab search again, and it's going to pull up, 803 results for anywhere but the full text, which is interesting. And I think there's one more thing. Okay, yeah, they also have search tips. So if you want to know how ProQuest is interpreting your search, you can include any letters, any numbers, English, any other language. It's going to ignore your punctuation. So if you're taking the title of an article and you want to know if it's in here, and it's got punctuations, it's got hyphens in it, ASFA is going to ignore that when you put it in the search term, so it's going to be searching all the text, which is, you know, sometimes helpful. Other times it's not. If you have something that has a hyphen, that's important. If you want to have a word, you know, the hyphen means something, you want to enclose that in parentheses or quotation marks, because then it will search specifically for the word with the hyphen in it. Does anyone have any questions about ASFA? Check online really quickly.
You said that I can make out some words, no. But you said that there is a search. When I went to the search and it's full of things on the left-hand side, you said it was, I forget what the word was, something publications. Does that mean referee publications?
Yeah, this there's peer-reviewed ones that you can check, and then you can also pick a source type. So scholarly journals, if it's a scholarly journals. Yeah. So they have books, they do have dissertations and theses, magazines, trade journal information. They do have more that you can include or exclude and apply that. You can choose your date range, and within that date range, you can get down to the year. On the side, you also have subject. So if you're, you know, looking more broadly or narrowly, you can use the subject filter. Document type, article, a feature article, a report, a conference. They'll break it down for you. You can break it down by language. If you have a certain, like the Journal of Shellfish Research is one that you're, you know, very keen on, you think that's a good source, you can sort by that. Location isn't always the best because it'll say, you know, the United States, but then they'll have like California. So you can either get really specific or more broadly with the location. There is person as well. So if you're saying, okay, NOAA Oppenheim is doing a lot of research in this, that's great. You can narrow by a particular person or a company organization. So you can say, oh, NOAA. NOAA and NOAA have two things in common. Okay, I am going to move on from ASFA if there is no more questions about that. And we're going to talk about a very, very similar database, which is the Meteorological and Geoastrophysical abstracts. So this is also a ProQuest database. We have from 1950 to the current. This is looking at meteorology, climatology, atmospheric chemistry, physics. It is another one that's great for the gray literature. It's pulling in those sources as well. It has the same look and feel as ASFA, and you may find some things that are earlier than 1950 as well. That's just what they tell us we have access to, but we have access to a little bit more than that. It does have the same kind of pitfalls as ASFA. You'll find some item duplication, missing pieces of metadata, that kind of stuff. So we're gonna hop into that one. And one of the pitfalls is if I'm gonna look for tornado, and I'm gonna look for tornadoes with an S, great. I'm getting 530 results, and that doesn't seem right because there's a lot of research about tornadoes, and I know that, and I know it's not gonna be that. So I'm gonna take away the S, and I'm just gonna search tornado, hopefully. Oh, okay, 11,000 results. That's much more like it. But, you know, what if I search the other plural form, tornadoes with an ES? Okay, I get the same results. But could there be more? Yes, there could be more. So the asterisk is also known as a wildcard when you're searching. So putting the asterisk at the end of your search term, cutting off any kind of S, ES, shun, any of those last like suffixes, you put the asterisk instead, and it's going to search for all of them. So if I put the asterisk in for this, it's getting me an extra 183 references. So pulling in the ones that weren't found with those other ones. So that's good thing to know. Okay, so same thing. You can search, you can sort it by, oldest, most recent. Relevance is how it's set up originally. You can do the peer reviewed. You can say it's a scholarly journal. You can look at books, magazines, pick a year, subject, language, document type, all of the same things as with ASFA. But I'm going to say, like, okay, I like this search, but 11,000 is way too many to search through. Like, that's not relevant to what I'm looking for. So I'm going back to my advanced search. I'm going to make sure the wildcard is on for that, and I'm going to put in warning. So I'm looking for warnings. I'm looking for anywhere. I'm going to search again. 3,000 results. Much better, but still too many for me to search through. So I'm going to go back to modifying my search. I'm going to add a row, and I want to make sure that there's some information about economics. But I'm going to add my wildcard in case there's another economic form that I'm not thinking of. 1,100 results. Not bad, but this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this specifically, tornadoes, warnings, and the economics of that. So while 1,100 results is a lot, then I can say, okay, I want it to only be scholarly journals, which drops it below 500, and I want it to be from the last 10 years. And that drops it again. 292, still a lot, but if I'm doing an exhaustive literature search, I'm probably going to look at all of them. This top one seems very relevant. It's talking about audience attention. So I'm going to click into that. And it's going to say, it's from the American Meteorological Society. It's giving me the abstract. It has full text. I can download the PDF if I want to. It also has shared references. This is kind of a hidden thing. Not all of them have that, but documents within ProQuest that share the same references. 5,718 are a lot, but this may give you a brief look at who is doing the same type of work, using the same references, who they're referencing, and how it's being used, which could kind of round out your research. Backtrack. Oh yeah, question.
The wildcard economic or economics?
Economics, I didn't put the S on there, I just said economic, but if you wanted to do like econ and an asterisk, you could do that as well. That might pull in economy versus economics. And so if you're using EndNote or any kind of citation manager, this is where you'd want to use the save feature. And the drop down here, if you're using EndNote, you want this RIS file. That's going to be the one you want to save it to. If you do want to cite it, you just want something that tells you the APA, or if you're not using APA, you want to use Chicago or something, you can do that, and it's a quick, easy grab of that to put in what you're looking for or what you're working on. You can email it to a colleague, you can print it. There's a lot of good things you can do with that, but you can see the PDF from here. Look through, and you don't want to download it, you want to just make sure it's relevant to what you're looking at. This is a great way to do that. You can go back to your results, and there's little check boxes next to everything. So checkbox things, you can save them, you can save a search, or you can create an alert for this specific search term that you're using. So it'll email you when new things are published in this area or collected here. And then some of them also have that cited by link, which, cited by doesn't always mean that it was like a really good paper. It could mean it was a really bad paper and people are talking about how bad it was. But it's still a good way to say, okay, a lot of people are using this paper. So why is it important, and what's the future of this paper? How has it affected research going forward? And you can look at those things. Some of them aren't going to be in this database, and that will just show by this grayed out. There's not like a link provided. And here's where you kind of would want to copy this and start a different search in a different area. If you wanted to hop on Google, this is kind of where you would start doing that if it's not available that you can click through.
So there's not even an abstract found?
This one here, details, It doesn't, yeah. It does have a link, it looks like, but it's moving you off to somewhere else. Yeah, it's gonna try a search with it. So there's a lot of great features. Some of them have dead ends. Okay, does anyone have any other questions about the meteorological and geoastrophysical abstracts? Stumbling over that word today. Okay, so moving right along, I'm going to talk next about JSTOR. So JSTOR is an excellent source of older, some newer, but definitely older material. Access years cover from the early 1800s forward. JSTOR often, and through our subscriptions, has things available 2 to 5 years after publication, which isn't very helpful when you're like, it released since 2019, it was great, and I really want to read it. And I'm going to be like, in 2 to 5 years, JSTOR is going to have it available. This is where, if you really need it, we would have our interlibrary loan service, or maybe we do have it through a different subscription. But if you're stumbling across something and you're like, 1998, it was published, do we have access? JSTOR might have it. JSTOR might have it through our access, or maybe JSTOR might just have it that you can read. So I'm going to hop out of here again and into JSTOR. So this is the landing page for JSTOR. Yeah, I can make this a little bigger for everybody. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so you can do a basic search from here, search everything. You can do advanced searching. You can browse by a subject, title, or publisher. They do have some cool tools as well. So I usually always pick advanced search because it allows me to play around and lets me customize things, specify. When you're searching for something, you don't really want to wade through 1,000 articles. You want to get the best thing. So I'm going to look for coastal resilience because I think that's, pretty specific. It's a newer field. So I'm hoping that this is going to give me some good results. And it does, 6,000. That's really good. Could it be better? Maybe. I'm going to go back and I'm going to see that the access type is content I can access. So that means that it's not all content. So I can choose all content. And then I can say, okay, and I want it to be in the abstract. So I'm going to search again. And JSTOR is going to tell me approximately 10% of articles have abstracts. So maybe you want to remove that because the results I'm getting is only 187. So you're like, oh, okay. So this is a point where having a filter on there is actually limiting what you're getting back in a bad way. So I'm going to get rid of that in this search bar up here and try again. And it's giving me back the same number because I did not say that I wanted, I'm going to backtrack, not say I wanted all content. So all fields, coastal resilience, all content. And this should give us back something more. Okay, a little over 14,000, much better. So we're looking at this first one and it says you can't download it. There's a little like, do not do this. But this sounds interesting. It's what I want to look at. So I click into it and it tells me that I can read this online for free. Awesome. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to download it even. You do have to create an account and then you get 6 articles each month for free. Not a lot, not unlimited access, but if you're doing massive searching, it can help you weed out those articles or get ones that you really want and can't access elsewhere. So it's a good thing to know that you can read this stuff online for free. It's not, not downloadable, but you can still be reading it, which is, I think, really great. Okay, so it may not work for you, but when you're sifting through a lot of literature, it's a helpful thing to do. And if you're at this point, you want to cite this item, you can copy the citation. You can download the RIS for your EndNote, for your reference manager, any of those citation manager tools. And then you can also save it. And this is where having an account also helps because I thought I logged in, but I didn't. That's okay. If you save it and you log in, this stuff you can create, it'll take you to a workspace. You can create folders. You can share it with your colleagues. You can add notes to it. It's a good tool, and logging in, gives you that access. Creating that account gives you that free online access, and it gives you kind of a space to keep track of what you're looking at.
What does the save do if you don't
I am not actually sure, because I don't know where it goes.
Yeah.
I click the saved and I'm like, okay, I saved it. Awesome. Where? So I'm pretty sure it's only gonna work if you log in, if you create something. There also is these fun little tabs off to the side. I don't know if you can see them because of, oh, they're on there. Awesome. So this one is security studies. It's one of the subject guides or subject by subject browsing options. So they have security studies, which is looking more about international security, conflict studies around the world, but they also have sustainability, which is going to be looking at resilience, which is what I was looking for originally. So I'm going to say, great. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, I also want to know about aquaculture and coastal resilience. I'm going to search through this one, and hopefully it's going to give me more tailored options. So 593, that's a lot, but these first few, these are looking like what I want to read. And they will tell you up front in these little green boxes that it is open access. This is something you can access. You don't have to be on campus with NOAA to get into this. You can get this from anywhere. Let's see. And then you can, of course, narrow by this left-hand panel. You can say, I wanted to look at the book chapters. I wanted to only look at journals. I want to look at these dates. I want to look by a subject. And I want to look at all content. So it's going to change up, again, having things that you can't download, but then you can read online for free. Does anybody have any questions about JSTOR using it?
So how far back does this go, or when do you recommend starting to use this one to look at past publication sources?
I think it's one of the tools in the toolbox. If you have a topic that you're interested in, I would say find every database that is going to look at that topic and systematically go through each database. It's a lot of work, but if you're trying to be exhaustive and doing a comprehensive literature review, that's what we do in the library. We, figure out which databases are going to have that information, and then we look through each one to figure out and grab all of the content we can that's relevant. You start seeing duplication as you go through databases because they're all crawling the same things, they're all abstracting the same journals. So you'll start to see repetition, and once you see repetition and you stop seeing new things, that's when you know you've done a good job. You've exhaustively searched that topic to the ground. So I would say start in JSTOR when you've either stopped a different database or you wanted to start with JSTOR. It will have the older material. So if that is of interest, JSTOR might be your first stop. If you aren't interested in the latest, if you aren't interested in the older material, you're looking at the last 10 years, JSTOR might be your last place to look, because it's not going to house so much of the newer content. And if it does house the newer content, it might not be available to you. It's an either or kind of situation with that one. Okay, let me see if there's any questions online. I'm not seeing them. Okay, I'm going to hand this over to my colleague Hope, who's going to talk about the next databases.
Hi everyone, I'm Hope Shen. I'm another reference and outreach librarian here. I also do a variety of other things, but I don't have time to list them all. So the first one I'm going to talk about is ScienceDirect. ScienceDirect is Elsevier's database and search platform for all of their ebooks and their peer-reviewed journals. We have access to search the entire database, so this is millions of articles. However, we only have full text access to the journals and the ebooks that we have purchased or subscribed to. So if you're searching in ScienceDirect, you're going to come across a lot of articles that you can't access through the platform. And unfortunately, there's no way to filter by what you have access to. So you just have to sort of search and hope that things are open access or in our subscriptions. So I'll just quickly go into ScienceDirect, zoom in a little bit. So first, the thing I want to point out is at the top right, we do have the library logo showing up here. This means that you are on this website via a NOAA IP address. You will see this on every page of ScienceDirect, even if you don't have access to it. So sometimes it says access provided by, even on things that we don't subscribe to. So just don't get confused by that. It just means that you're on a NOAA IP address. Like all these other databases, you can sign into ScienceDirect. This will allow you to save searches and create search alerts, and you can have those sent to your email. You do not have to sign in. You can if you want to. Elsevier also really wants you to sign in, and they will keep popping this up if you don't. So, in terms of the content on ScienceDirect, it is very broad. As you can see here, it covers physical sciences and engineering, life sciences, health sciences, and social sciences and humanities. Our subscriptions are primarily in life sciences. Some are in social sciences and some are in physical sciences, but the bulk of them are life sciences. So if we go up to this main search bar, there we go. I'm just going to do a brief search for marine debris in the keyword field. If you were looking for something more specific, you could fill in all these fields if you were looking for a specific journal or anything by a specific author. But for now, I'm just going to do marine debris. So we get 50,000 results. It's a heck of a lot of results. You can set a search alert here, but again, you have to be logged in order for this to work properly. And you can see on the left here that you have all of these refinement options. So you can choose by year, article type, publication, or access type. You can also notice that some of these articles here have a little green button and they say full text access. So in this example, we subscribe to this journal, Marine Pollution Bulletin. So anything from that journal should be full text access to you. I'll just quickly click into one of these. And in here you can see that you can download the PDF at this link. You can also share it or export it, the citation to a citation management software, such as EndNote. And then here, since we have full text access, you can click through the outline and go all the way down to the references, look at the references. I'm not going to scroll all the way back up. Okay. To show you the advanced search, you get a lot more fields with this search, even more fields than you can refine your search by in the basic search. So if you are really looking only for editorials, if you're really looking only for articles from ebooks, you want to use the advanced search. For this example, I'm just going to go ahead and do marine debris in the keyword fields. I'm also going to filter by year and say 2018. And then I'm going to say encyclopedia articles just to see what's there. I've got 98 results. There are a bunch of different entries in one particular encyclopedia, but if you were if you were looking in one particular encyclopedia, you could narrow that here. And because we don't have access to any of these, you're not seeing the green dot and full text access to the side here. And if you go in, If you don't have access to something in ScienceDirect, it will say get access up here in the corner. And that will just take you to a page to check access. But so if you see this, we don't have access. That's just a good thing to know. If you sign in to ScienceDirect, one of the other features that offers is recommended articles. So Elsevier does store your search history, whether or not you tell it to, and it will recommend articles based on your different searches that you do. Then if we go back to the main page, there are just a couple other things I wanted to point out about this database. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can browse by publication title. And then it also has this little box about open access articles. So they have 250,000 open access articles in ScienceDirect. So this is anything that, these are things that you can read even if we don't have access because it is open access. So they have different options for searching that. You can look at the open access journal directory. And these are journals that are fully open access that are in ScienceDirect. So if you wanted to search for anything with pollution, that's not going to pull up anything. Okay. So it's sort of limited. There aren't that many open access journals indexed in Elsevier, but there are a few, and you can find them here. And then they also have one more option, which is to view all publications with publications that may or may not be open access, fully open access, but that publish open access articles. So this is a lot more publications. And you can do this, you can search it again in the same way, and you can filter by publication type or access type. Finally, ScienceDirect does have help in online video tutorials. So if you're more interested in something that we didn't cover here, they do have a variety of online tutorials for how to use their service, and they're fairly helpful. And in addition, they do have a help page as well. All right, so that's all I wanted to cover about ScienceDirect. So Web of Science is our powerhouse database, as I like to think of it. We subscribe to 3 indexes. It is an indexing service, so you're not going to find any full text within this database. It does give you a lot of information, and it will link you out to where you can find the full text, but it does not have the any full text within it. So we subscribe to the Science Citation Index Expanded, Social Sciences Citation Index, and the Conference Proceedings Citation Index. And then I will go over the Copernio tool in a minute, but it is another way to find full text within Web of Science. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So when you go to Web of Science from the our database lists on the website, this is where it takes you. You can also go to webofknowledge.com, and that will pull up Web of Science. So it takes you to this basic search page. The term basic search is kind of misleading, as it is, you can actually do a lot with this basic search. So you can choose which database within our index subscriptions that you want to search. So the Web of Science core collection is the biggest database. You'll find most everything you want in here. However, we do also have a Korean language, a Russian language, and a Spanish language index within here as well. So you can choose to search all databases or just the core collection. So I'm just going to choose all databases. And then I'm going to do another search for marine debris. And here it lets you choose what field you want to search on. Topic is your keyword search. So I'm going to choose that. And then I'm going to add a row. And I'm going to add NOAA as, oh, why is it not letting me do this? When I was doing this earlier, it let you have funding source in this drop-down. I don't know why it's not showing up now. Yeah, you can search by topic. Let's see if that works. And then there's also some more settings down here. And this again, it's just another way to choose your database. And then if you wanted to only search in a specific language, you can choose that here as well. Okay, so I'm gonna search here. So this is only 22. So this is slightly smaller than when I was using NOAA as a funding source instead of as a topic, but it still gets the point across. I'm actually gonna zoom out a little bit so you can see more of the left bar. The left bar, again, has your refining options. There are a lot of them here. So publication, years, research domains, databases, and then it has all of these others as well. So document type, search for peer-reviewed articles, meetings, etc. Funding agencies. So if I wanted to go back and take out NOAA as a topic, and then I could come in here and then refine by NOAA, because NOAA would likely show up in this list. If you click more options, /values, it should pull up a little window here. And NOAA does show up. And you can select as many as you want from here. Just gonna cancel. And then it has even more options. So open access countries, regions. It does also have open access here as well. So I'm just gonna do another search, and I'm just gonna take out NOAA here. All right, now I get almost 6,000 articles. And there are some more filter options. Here, I'm gonna sort by time cited. One of the really neat things about Web of Science is that it collects a lot of citation information about articles. So if you're looking in the field of marine debris and you want to find out what are the top cited articles of all time about marine debris, you can come in here, do the search, sort by time cited, and the first one you get is 2,000 citations. It's from 1998. So that's a nice way to do that kind of search. Web of Science also has a lot of other citation tools that could be its own presentation so I'm not going to get into them now, but they are pretty cool if you want to take a look at them. So if you go into a citation, you can see all of the citation publication information. You can see the abstract, and it will highlight your keyword search within the abstract. And then they show you the keywords and then some author information down below. And they have even more data fields if you'd like to look at them. So you have three things up here. Full text options will show you where you can get the full text. This doesn't mean you can get the full text. If you had access through the publisher, you could get the full text through the publisher. So I'm just going to click on this one and see where it goes. And it takes me to ScienceDirect. And unfortunately, we don't have access to this online. If it was a journal that we did have access to, just like I showed you earlier in ScienceDirect, it would show up as download PDF here. So sadly, this is not something we can download. And we don't have Copernio installed in here, so I can't show that to you either, which is kind of annoying. But I will talk about Copernio in a minute. Okay, so I also want to point out that you can sign in and save searches. And this will, so where it says searches and alerts and search history, these will be available once you sign in. You do not have to sign in to use it, but it can be helpful if you want to use these tools. Marked list is another way of saving articles. If you go back to the search, and I'll just select the first two articles here and add to marked list, and they will show up in my marked list. So you can use the marked list even if you're not logged in. Just know that when you click away, like if you leave the tab or if you close your browser, it will not save it. And then Web of Science also has a variety of help options. This training portal is super useful. It takes you to this page where you can view tutorials, you can explore guides, and they also have guides to their other Clarovit products like EndNote. So if you need EndNote help, you can find that here as well. And if you want to find out more about how to use Web of Science, we can set up a training. I'm going to talk to me and Katie about that afterwards if you would like that. And someone from Clarovit would come down and do a more in-depth training on how to use this resource. Okay. And finally, I'm going to talk about the repository. So the repository, according to the PAR policy, the public access to research results, all NOAA research published since 2015, yes, Sarah, needs to be in the institutional repository. We don't have all of it, but it should be in there. So this is NOAA series publications, journal articles published or funded by NOAA, and some other materials like educational materials. It is full text searchable, so any keyword search you do searches the entire full text of everything that's in the repository, and it does have an advanced search feature as well. And the search is very easy to use, as I will demonstrate. Okay, so if you're looking for something specific, like if you're looking for something about marine debris, you could use the search bar. But first, I just want to show you collections. So we do group everything in here by line office, the line office that produced it. And in addition, we have some other collections as well. So if you're looking for Deepwater Horizon, anything published by Sea Grant, anything pertaining to NEPA or the National Environmental Policy Act, those all have collections. So if I go into the Deepwater Horizon collection, these are basically canned searches. So they give you this, if you had searched Deepwater Horizon materials in the keyword search, it would not bring this up. But if you go into the collection and search that, you will find everything related to Deepwater Horizon in the repository. So here, again, on the left, you have various ways to refine your search. You can year, program, and office, document type, subject, and name a subject and place a subject. So I'm just going to click into one of these. It's a FOIA request, NOAA FOIA request related to the NOAA response to Deepwater Horizon. So unfortunately, you can't view this because it's a PDF portfolio, but if you download it and open it in Adobe Acrobat Pro, you will be able to see it. So usually the whole PDF would show up right here and you would be able to read through it right in this viewer. You can also see the details. If you wanted to see anything this person had written that's in the repository, you could click her name and then that would show everything that she's written in the repository. And then same with these links and as well as these. So if you wanted to look at everything FOIA in the IR, you could do that by clicking this. And it also shows you some you may also like. So these are not specifically related documents. They're related in terms of maybe their subject material, but they're not directly related. Anything directly related would show up in the related documents tab. And then you can also download either from the viewer, this little download button, or you can download them here. We also have a new export citations tool to export RIS files to EndNote or any other citation software that uses RIS files. So the strength of the IR is really that it is entirely NOAA. If you're looking for NOAA materials, this is a good place to start. We don't have everything, but we are getting more and more every day, and especially journal articles. So these would be manuscripts or open access versions of anything that NOAA authors had funded or published. So please use it. We want you to use it. It's not just a place for us to tell you to give us your things, but also we want you to use it as a resource for your research. All right, last slide. So we showed you a lot of things where you might not be able to find the full text. what happens when you do those searches and you can't find full text. Here in the library, we use 3 browser extensions that will help you find open access articles: Copernio, Unpaywall, and NOAA button. I did mention Copernio with Web of Science because it is owned by Claravit Analytics and it's integrated within Web of Science. So if you have the browser extension, it will show up in Web of Science whenever you go into a specific article. So the way that these browser extensions work is that they search legal open access databases like institutional repositories or open access journals. Another way to find full text is, and one more thing about the browser extensions, you can probably download them on your NOAA computer, but please check with your IT first because different line office IT have different recommendations and it can be a headache sometimes, yeah. Okay, so Google is sometimes your friend. If you Google an article title, sometimes you can find the full text there. If you Google an article title and you click into the publisher's website, like on Wiley or ScienceDirect or wherever, you may find that it's something we have access to and you can download it right there. Or you may find that it's open access and you can download it. You may also stumble across PDFs from places like ResearchGate, CiteZRX, and Semantic Scholar. We do not recommend that you download from those websites. ResearchGate in particular has been in legal trouble for uploading copyrighted works that they did not have the right to upload. Please do not break copyright law on your work computer. So I recommend staying away from those websites entirely, as tempting as it might be to just download those PDFs when you see them.
What are the repercussions? Like, oops, download. Like,
I mean,
not that I'm going to,
right.
Like, what is?
So in terms of repercussions, I don't know that there are any.
Very
I don't think
simple
anyone,
accidents
I don't
happen.
think the FBI is gonna like come storm, like break down your door if you do that. Like they're not looking that closely. Just as a librarian who works for the federal government, I really would dissuade you from using them. It's not a good look if the people in the federal government are breaking copyright law. So yeah. And then the library also has 2 tools for you to find full text basically. So our journal finder is a list of all the journals that we subscribe to. So if you're searching in ScienceDirect and you're like, I think we have access to this journal, but I'm not finding it, I'm not getting access to it, you can go to our journal finder, you can search for the journal title and it will tell you whether or not we have access. If we do have access, it'll tell you from what years and in what platform. And then I'm one of the 2 people here who do interlibrary loan, so I feel beholden to tell you about interlibrary loan. And if you really can't find your PDF anywhere, please contact us. interlibrary.loan@noaa.gov is our email address. Just let us know what you can't find and we will do our best to get it for you. We have a network with thousands of research libraries and public libraries across the country who will send us PDFs on a moment's notice. It's awesome. So please use that if you can't find anything. All right. Does anyone have questions? Where do I click over here? Check questions. How do I pop this out? Okay. So someone asked how to access the libraries through the NOAA API. I do not know anything about the NOAA API and the libraries, and you don't either. Katie doesn't.
Nope.
If you have a more specific question about that, please email us at library.reference@noaa.gov, and we will try and work out what you need. Our website, I know the library website, library.noaa.gov, does not have an API.
IR does have an API, and there is information on using it in the help section.
Okay, so the IR does have an API, and there's information on using it in the help section. All right.
Okay, does anybody have any questions in the room? Did we answer your searching the institutional repository?
All right.
Awesome. Okay, if no one has any questions, we will sign off. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much for coming.